So today we are doing crawfish. A crawfish boil is very, very similar to the seafood boil, but it's just like a couple things that you got to do different because you're dealing with something that's alive while you're cooking it. Um, Crawfish, like they live in mud and like marshy, swampy areas, so they're gonna have a lot of dirt and like other kinds of contaminants and stuff that's in them that you got to flush out, which is called purging. Contrary to popular belief, you're not supposed to put the salt in the water. They say that make the crawfish spit or whatever, that which cleans them faster. I don't know if that's necessarily true, but I've heard that that actually kills crawfish. But from what I've seen in my research or whatever, and what I've seen from other people who taught me how to do crawfish, as long as you cycle them through enough times through the water or whatever, when the water runs clear after you're done, that means that the crawfish are clean. But we're not doing nothing too crazy today because it's for my baby or whatever. So she just wanted some potatoes, some corn, and the crawfish or whatever. So as far as ingredients, like I said, all we doing, we're gonna have some red potatoes and some corn, and I got some salted butter. Of course, you're gonna have your boil. Like I said, that particular brand you can use them for both, but it's good either way. Um, like we always say, make sure your hands are clean. But this is a good teaching moment right here because when you buy crawfish by the sack, 10 times out of 10, you're gonna have some dead ones in there, like it's inevitable, right? But you have to get them out of there because if you cook them with the rest and somebody eats that one that was dead, they're gonna get sick. Like no question, they're gonna get sick. A couple ways that you can tell if a crawfish is dead or not, or how long they've been dead, is if their tail is straight. So if the tail is straight like that, yeah, go ahead and toss them out or whatever. Like as you can see, these were the ones that I picked out that are dead, and these are the ones that are still alive. Um, this is how I do them. Anybody else can probably have a different way. Like some people, they got this. It's like this red thing that you hook up a water hose to, and it cycles water to and through until it's clean. But um, I do it like this. Just get you some cold water, and for that first initial like splash down or whatever, this will get like the dirt and stuff that's on the outside of them. You know what I'm saying? This isn't meant to like clean them thoroughly. This just to get like that top soil off of them or whatever. And then you can transfer it to some water. Like I said, in my experience and what I do is I'll cycle this like anywhere from 10 to 15, possibly even 20 times, just until the water is clear or whatever. Like I said, I know back in the day, a lot of people like to put salt in it or whatever to make them spit. But like I said, that's potentially kill them. And I also read that, you know what I'm saying, if you put crawfish in water, they're going to drown. That's not true because I had a crawfish in a fish tank for like 18 months and it didn't drown. So I know they'll be all right purging for however long I have them purging. While they're purging, just as a time saving measure, you can go ahead and throw your potatoes in because like the potatoes take the longest to cook. But yeah, like I said, just cycle it through a couple times. Also, man, we only doing like a pound of crawfish. That's not a lot. If this was like a lot or whatever, I would suggest you get like a big cooler and a water hose or whatever. But as you got the water flowing like this or whatever, it's constantly like flushing them out and getting the bad water out at the same time. So it doesn't take that long, like 10, 15, possibly 20 minutes or whatever to clean them thoroughly. But you want them to be cleaned thoroughly because they'll have like a muddy, gritty taste to them if you don't do it this way. But like I said, bro, just make sure at this point that you do it until the water runs clear. Like it looks a whole lot better than it did on the first batch or whatever. But me personally, I would like them to be a little bit more clear. So we just gonna keep it going. Oh, I almost forgot. Make sure you add your corn. The potatoes are already done at this point, and the corn only takes like 5 to 6 minutes to do, and it's been enough for like 7, so it's done. Make sure it's boiling at this point. We didn't forget to put the liquid crab boil in or whatever. We're gonna do that after we get the crawfish in. So, like I said, make sure it's boiling. Throw your crawfish in there. Now the thing about this, they only need to boil for like I think 3 to 4 minutes. You don't want to overcook them. You do not want to overcook them. Grab your salted butter. You can throw that in there now, and just let them boil for 3 to 4 minutes. Because this is not where the flavor come in at. You know what I'm saying? This is just to cook them basically. The flavor comes in when you soak them or whatever. And different people soak their crawfish at different times. I personally like to soak mine for anywhere from 20 to 22 minutes or whatever. It just depends on how long, you know what I'm saying, or how much you're cooking, I should say. I ain't gonna say how long, how much you're cooking. So at this point, they've been boiling for about 3.5 minutes, almost 4. You'll be good to turn the fire off. Matter of fact, if I was you, I'll just remove it from the heat altogether so it won't keep boiling or whatever. At this point, you just need them to soak. You know what I'm saying? You need them to get all that flavor from the crab boil inside of them. Something else, right? It's two main things that are missing from this boil. Onions and some type of citrus, which could be lemon, limes, or oranges or whatever. But Skylar doesn't like onions, so we didn't put no onions in there. And then of course, other people in the house have a citric allergy, so I didn't even want to have that boiling in here and have, you know what I'm saying, her allergies messing with her. So, but definitely get you some onions and definitely get you some limes and some lemons to throw in there, because that helps with the flavor, like give you that zesty flavor. So yeah, like I said, at this point, just let them soak. So all they need to do is soak.